It is a Thursday and I figured let's talk about audiobooks. So I talk about this not insignificantly, or not infrequently, I should say. I love audiobooks for a number of different reasons, not the least of which is that it kind of makes me feel like I'm driving with my grandma, right? Because when I was a little kid, she always had audiobooks out from the library. But audiobooks fulfill a lot of different roles for me. Part of it is the idea of being told a story, right? That like very tangible, very primal desire to have one person be next to you telling you about their life or about their experience or about their story. And I love audiobooks for that, particularly first-person narrative. But I love audiobooks for a number of different reasons. They keep me entertained when I am doing work. They are a constant companion when I need one. Sometimes they are just a weight off my shoulder when I need to be distracted by something else. There are audiobooks that are 44 hours long, like something out of a Sanderson series, or there are audiobooks that are 30 minutes long, like Leigh Bardugo's short stories that go between the Grisha books. And each of them serves a purpose. I'm a person who for a long time has loved audiobooks, but I didn't always. Audiobooks for a long time seemed like something that was for older people, was something my grandma did, was for people who are really lonely. And I think I had a lot of ideas about who listened to audiobooks in my head that wind up almost nowhere near what audiobooks actually serve as a purpose. I think that the idea of feeling close to other people is so vital to being a healthy person. And sometimes, especially as an introvert, having a story where I don't have to nod and pretend that I understand or that I am sympathetic towards someone who I think is doing something wrong, having that as an option is perfect. I love the idea that I occasionally get to just listen. Again, natural introvert, that for me is kind of perfect. It gives me the idea of what another person's life could be like, but also the opportunity to just kind of sit and think through that. To hear a story and have the opportunity to think and sub-vocalize, which for me is a big deal, about the exact situation that they're going through. Self-vocalization is a really interesting part of audiobooks. It's a really interesting part of reading generally. It's the idea that you're kind of subconsciously saying what another character is saying. And in an audiobook, when someone is speaking to you, for me, it is much more reactive. I have the opportunity to kind of talk back, in a sense, to the characters that are speaking to me through the audiobook. And I don't necessarily always have that through the traditional storytelling platform where I am reading and thus sub-vocalizing that character to myself. So that's really interesting and is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. On top of that, of course, audiobooks are so practical. As a person who spends a lot of time outside gardening and doing mostly solitary tasks, doing things like cleaning and deep cleaning, I think that audiobooks are a kind of company that I cannot forsake or take for granted. not only do they keep me company, but they make me think critically in a way that is low stress and low pressure. Books do very much the same thing for me, but sometimes when my hands are busy and my eyes are busy, when my body is busy, audiobooks are perfect. I've been trying really, really hard to bike the last couple of weeks to work. It's about 4.5 miles, and I am not very good at it yet, but I am trying to be more physically active. And sometimes the idea that someone else might be talking to me keeps me aware, helps wake me up, helps make me want to go and spend that 30 minutes biking up a hill because that sucks. And in a lot of ways, I'm lonely. I know this. I'm not upset about this. I'm not sad. But I think the world is a lonely place. And having the feeling that someone speaks to you and speaks to your soul, which is part of the reason people like reading to begin with, is so personable and necessary and valuable. I love listening to people talk to me, even when it is totally and completely pretend. And so I love audiobooks. There are a couple that I love in particular, and I have listed those before, but I love Diane Guerrero's, her first person narrative about her family's struggle being illegal immigrants. I love listening to stories like Lois McMaster Bujold. It just feels so magical. I love the fairy tales of Leigh Bardugo, and let's keep in mind that I have a mixed bag of emotions about her, and I will talk about that at some other time. But when someone is lyrical, it doesn't just feel like they're talking, it feels like they are making a world. And that's fantastic and wonderful, and I want so much of that in my life. What I want is to know why you love audiobooks, because I think we are all drawn to them for similar but different reasons. I think we love stories for similar but different reasons, and I want to know why you love them. I want to feel that kind of camaraderie where we talk about the reasons that we connect with similar things, but for different or similar reasons, and the ways that we are the same, the ways that we are different, the ways that we are both at the same time. Hold on for a second while I am totally sappy. I'm gonna itch my nose because I have something there. Probably a hair. But regardless, give me your suggestions, give me your stories. I just finished Dear Ejawaya, I think it's called. I just finished Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's most recent story, her manifesto on raising daughters to be feminist. And it's that same kind of feeling, you know? It's that same kind of really personal connection that I think audiobooks sometimes give you that you need. I am so excited to get your recommendations. I hope that you leave so many. I'll talk to you later. You know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope you are having a fantastic reading week. Bye.